Here we go.
On that one.
Yeah. All right. 3, 2, 1. Too early. Damn. Of course.
Now.
No. It's like another 10 seconds.
We've been live for 14 seconds.
Now. Yeah. Oh, wait.
We've been live.
Yeah. We're live on Instagram now, too.
Everywhere.
Yeah, we have to. So we're waiting for Instagram, too.
Oh, okay.
It takes a little bit to communicate over Instagram,
Get
like
out of
30
my
seconds or
cock.
so. Oh, Jesus, sorry. I wanted to pet the boy. What's up, everybody? James here. Rocco's here.
What up? I'm buying a beanie.
And Tucker's here. And Tucker is who you guys have heard me talk about a lot. He is our incoming Chief Operation Officer. He's been absolutely crushing it so far. Some of the plans that he's come up with,
That's what she said.
have been honestly amazing. And it's taking the vision of refit and making it executable, more executable, more organized, all of that. So we cannot thank him enough for joining in. I really want you guys to get to know him. So that is why we are having him on the episode today. So you guys can get to know Tucker, as well as, we're going to talk about some other stuff too. Like I have a topic in mind. I really want to discuss a word that I want to discuss.
We have a zip up hoodie.
Yeah, we have a lot of stuff on that website now. We're using Printful or whatever. So there's a lot of shit now. But let me go in here. I'm actually going to try to promote the video real quick a little bit better. So give us a second, guys. Editing the post. And I'm going to put at followers.
We also have some
get in
new
this
developments.
because
We
we
also
have
have some new
so
developments
much.
in the office.
Oh.
We have 3 of these now.
Oh, wait. You have to. That is not your mic.
No. We have a
It's not plugged in.
It's not plugged in. It's for a podcast. It's for podcasting equipment. It's not plugged into my computer.
Oh, I was going to say, get that thing plugged in and talk through it. You're going to sound all crispy and clear and beautiful.
Yeah, I don't know how yet.
Yeah.
I don't know how to hook it up to my computer yet.
What?
Yeah, I have it to the caster, like to the pod track.
Oh, and that's not plugged into your computer. Oh, we'll have to talk about that.
Yeah.
Cool. So, what's up, everybody? We are here. We were just also, if you guys want to tune in, listen to a great podcast that Tucker and I were both on. Tucker was able to get us onto Endless Endeavor with Greg Anderson. He is a Ranger veteran, Army Ranger veteran, as well as a police officer, former police officer, and now owns a jiu-jitsu gym. And he's just a great guy. He's on a life journey to improve himself, improve, his life, his relationships with his wife and his family and his friends, and being a better and bigger leader in his community. And we were able to have a really deep conversation. I listened to the whole thing. I set out this morning to listen to it so I can critique myself and learn from it. I'm beyond proud of, and grateful for the opportunity and the message we were able to spread. It was on point. Tucker did a great job too. Fantastic job being open, honest, vulnerable at one point, super vulnerable. He almost cried. And,
no, it was
that's
allergies.
Right. That was allergies. Right. Right.
That's what it was.
Jerks. Right. It was the mats. It was the cleaning chemicals that were on the mats in the jiu-jitsu gym. That was no, it's 234. So it's not on YouTube. I don't know if he can post it on YouTube because one of the cameras might not have actually been on during the episode. The one that was trained on to us, but he gets most of his listens and views anyway through like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and other locations that you listen to your podcasts. So
he was also a deputy U.S. Marshal as soon as he got out of the Rangers.
That's right. He was also a deputy U.S. Marshal.
Then he went to Port of Seattle. And that's when he posted the video during COVID of like enforcing unconstitutional regulations, lost his job, had a GoFundMe, and decided to take control of everything on his own. And I think he's only gotten bigger since that day. So
We apparently have a booty mic. I think it's probably yours, Tucker. Ray wanted to let you know. I think it's you.
Wow.
He said, "Fix your mic. Your sound is booty." So,
that sounds like a compliment, right?
you got a booty on you. Nah, so it was fantastic. It was good. But I really want to talk to you today. I want you to introduce yourself, kind of your plans and visions with Refit and where you see everything going. Yeah, it's you. Yeah, he confirmed it's you. You sound like booty. What's up, Mark? Good to see you, brother. So yeah, Tucker, take us through, man. Introduce yourself.
I want to fix my booty mic now. I'm
want
going to
you
go
to-
get a USB and hook up to the pod track and see if we can make this happen.
Do it. Yeah, go fix your booty mic real quick, and then actually we can jump into.
Thanks, Ray.
I'll fix your booty.
Yeah. Thanks, Ray.
Mike.
So he's gonna go fix that. And I actually want to discuss arrogance. And man, so Mark said he listened to the podcast and he said it was an intense podcast. Yes, that is usually what you get with me. I'm a very intense person. Greg was very intense. It was at one point I was listening to it and I was like, damn, I want to run through a brick wall right now. And it was from my own message. I was like, shit, this is what people feel like when I get into it, like I was ready to run, dude. But I want to discuss arrogance and what arrogance really means. And I'm going to put, especially when it comes to your mind, I want to put it out there. So something I've been really thinking about, learning about, is how arrogance can lead to you staying stuck in the mud that you're in because you are not willing to listen to other people's ways out of that mud that you're in. So I feel like it's a mental block when you feel like you just know. You know the answer, you know what way to do, you know this, you know that, you're all knowing. And how the opposite of that, what Socrates said was, I know nothing. And how that's actually a very freeing place to be in. And you can begin to operate within those bounds of your morals, which means, in my view, you have to have, and my argument is, set your morals and your values early and stay within them often. Early and often, you have to do that. And arrogance will be the exact enemy to that. So, yeah. He said, dude, that was just awesome. I haven't done martial arts in years. I forgot so much about meditation. I missed it from the connection you got from it. Yeah. So he's talking about the podcast. But what do you think of that? What do you think of the arrogance?
It sounds like a revisit of the pride conversation.
You think so?
Yeah. I think there's a lot of pride and arrogance.
It's interesting. It's actually interesting you said. I had that thought this morning when I was thinking about that word a little bit more.
When you were describing it just now, when you were talking, I was thinking like, wow, this is pride. Yeah, that's also pride. That sounds like pride.
Interesting. Yeah. You also sound a little bit clear. Turn it up a little bit.
Do I still have booty mic, Ray?
You definitely sound better.
Because it's longevity, not longevity.
And Ray said he knows people like that, the arrogant side.
I can hear you.
Yeah, you're perfect. That sounds great. That's great.
Let's not be talking about me again, Ray. I'm not arrogant. I don't know if I like Ray.
Ray's the man, dude. You're gonna meet Ray at one point at one of these leadership retreats.
Yeah, so be nice, Ray. I'm gonna meet you soon.
So yeah, I also thought that. I also thought arrogance really and pride they're almost synonymous. Like it brings it on. Yeah. That's actually a good callback. Because I felt the same way.
We agree with something.
What
What episode is this? I gotta get this one.
I knew it, Ray. I knew it.
Oh, wrong Ray. There's a different Ray. The Instagram Ray. So Ray Boughton is a recon Marine. This Ray is a very good friend of mine.
If Ray Boughton is a recon Marine, he also does.
That's funny. Ray on Instagram said, I don't know if I like Ray either. Damn, Ray, we got to talk about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's an all moment. Yeah, we love you. You are the man. I actually mentioned you during the podcast with Greg Anderson. So that is a thing. So you should jump into it. But I definitely think arrogance and pride are insanely synonymous.
Yeah.
I also agree with that. I think it's because it's so destructive. It's such a, because if somebody's trying to show you or provide you with things to learn from and a new perspective on things, it's almost like it's like, I know that. I know all that. And it's like, oh, okay, well, why aren't you trying to, because it doesn't work. Have you ever tried it? No. But I know it's not going to, like, I know it's not going to work. It's like
Oh,
a
you're a
very
future
arrogant,
teller. We got future tellers.
right. That arrogance is almost like you can tell the future on that.
I think the difference for me would be to have arrogance is always to have pride, but to have pride, you don't always have arrogance.
There's a difference between being proud and being arrogant. Yes.
There's also a difference between being proud and pride. Very, very distinct difference. I think, by the way, arrogance and pride, we discussed this also, are very good for when you're in the military, because you can use those things. This is the other side of my thought. You can use those things to generate, because a lot of arrogance also turns into self-hatred. However, if you're using it as the weapon that it should be used for, like in the military, to go take out an enemy, because you need to weaponize that hate, that's one of the hardest things to get through, and then to humble yourself. It's something we actually discussed even with Greg, like how important being humble is, and to he said, check in with your ego. Every time you come into the jiu-jitsu gym, it's an opportunity to check in with your ego to see where it's at. And I really fucking like that a lot. I love that, actually. Yeah. What, Ray?
Yeah.
Yeah. He said, Ray on Facebook said, I'm a better softball player than James. Now everyone hates me. Yeah, we're both booty, so we can't play softball anymore. But he's also trash. So I'm kidding. So yeah, I think it's a weapon. I think it can be used as a weapon very effectively, actually. So
yeah. If you have it in the right space, yeah, you could.
yeah.
You can use a lot of emotions for a lot of different things. Like there's sadness and passion. There's a little anger and passion. There's happiness and passion. Like you can use different emotions for different tools of many countless different things.
Yeah.
It's just how you use it.
Right. That's right. How you use it, what you invite in, and how you react to it. That's a core tenet even of like stoicism, right? Like that's trying to work on keeping, you don't want to be too high, you don't want to be too low, you want to understand things right in the middle. And that's like a great place to operate from.
What is the saying in keep going. I'll think of it.
I was actually going to
moderation
everything in moderation.
Yeah.
That is an important thing to have a good control over. And if you can't control it,
what about everything that's worth doing is worth overdoing?
Depends on what you're talking about. You're talking about farting in the tub, or you talking about passion?
Because what is worth doing, right? Like what, worth doing, a person could genuinely think that doing meth is worth doing, and they're overdoing it now. And it's like, now they're dead.
Chances are they'll overdo it for the rest of their life.
Yeah.
Oh, Claire Googled the difference between arrogance and pride. So there's the answer.
Yes, pride and being proud is usually about one thing, and pride is a general feeling.
Yeah.
That's what Google told me when you said that. I was like, oh, well, let's look that up. And so Google told me that pride is a general feeling, and being proud is usually about a specific thing.
I was thinking about pride and proud for a while, actually, after we had our conversation back. And I feel like pride is a self thing and proud is a other people thing. Like you're proud of other people,
Yeah. Proud of. Yep.
and pride is the innate negative, thought of yourself, but in a positive way. Obviously, it's a very negative thing.
Yeah.
But I
It
think
leads
pride
to a
is
lot
within
of
yourself. Proud
negativity.
is within others.
Yeah. And being grateful for other people through being proud of them. 100%, because you're giving it, you know.
Mm.
I do love these conversations, but I really want to get back to Tucker, because I want people to get to know Tucker, since he's new to the team and he's already doing a great job. And I can't wait to release the plans that we have in early 2025. We're actually going to be having Dan, Tucker, and myself are going to be down in Texas for another opportunity on a huge podcast with Zero Foxtrot. We've been building a relationship with them now, and Tucker's actually been the lead point man on that and making everything happen. So cannot thank him enough for that. And the value he's bringing immediately has been immense. So I want everyone to get to know Tucker and meet Tucker. So Tucker, please, man, go ahead, introduce yourself, and let's go. Let's do it.
Hello, I am Tucker. I'm just kidding. So, as James said, my name's Tucker. I'm currently going through a medical discharge from the Army, a medical retirement after 12 years. The wear and tear on my legs kind of started to give in, and so I started my med board. It's been forever. Started my med board forever ago, but I ended up going on the roaming vet Project Refit retreat in Rainier, and I had a great time. And we didn't really get into the fireside chats like James and Tanner wanted to on that retreat, but I saw the fire behind what they were trying to do, and so I had some discussions with James and Tanner about things that they do on the retreats that is kind of the SOP of making change and the approach of Project Refit. And I loved it. And I think it was the last night we were standing outside when we put the wiener on Bree's
Yep.
tire. Yes.
Yep.
When we all did that. It wasn't just me.
That's right. That's right.
Sounds painful.
It wasn't my wiener. It was
A little wiener, so it might have been yours, but it was a
red rock. It was red.
It was, yeah. It was like a red pink. What do you call the air tire? The tires,
valve
little,
cover.
valve cover.
The valve
Yeah,
stem
yeah.
Foreskin
covers.
pizza.
Ew, dude. I don't want to relive foreskin pizza at all.
I'm
Uh,
good after this. But yeah. So we were standing there and I was like, hey man, I want to get involved. I want to help. And James was kind of like, look, we've had so many people that say like, I want to get involved. I want to help. And they kind of fall off. So I'm kind of leery of just giving you responsibility. Of course you can jump in and get in where you fit in, and we'll see how that goes. And so, I got home from that retreat hours before everybody else because I only live like a 40-minute drive from Rainier. So sucks for all y'all, but it was nice for me. And I immediately started messaging different podcasts. Still waiting for Theo Vaughn to get back to us.
Speak that into existence.
Theo, for a Rat King, he pretty sure is hard to get hard to get a hold of.
That's right. That's right. That's funny.
But
rats are everywhere. Where are you at?
So I reached out to Theo Vaughn. I reached out to it was like 4 others that same day, and kept following up, kept doing video meetings with James, and eventually I was like, hey, like, what are we doing long term? Like, what do we do for our marketing strategy? What is our reach? What is the growth plan? How are we gauging how far we reach to the West Coast? All these things. And James was finally either annoyed enough to be like, hey, do you want to do this? Like, do you want to just do that? Or he was like, hey, this guy actually has an abundance of time and he really has bought into what we're doing and he wants to help. And so he gave me the reins for social media at first. And the more I learned about Refit, the more I was like, oh, we we have to grow. It's not a thing where it's like we should grow, or like we have an opportunity to grow. We have to create the opportunity to grow. Refit needs to grow.
He fucking gets it.
Right.
I
And
like that.
yeah, so
Also
so
by the numbers too.
I started to put together kind of a data set of what Refit has, where Refit can reach, and where we want to go. And on
Love
the
you too, buddy.
on the organization side of the house, man, Ray Krause, do you need us here for this conversation?
Dude, I love Ray, man. He's
I'm
the
just
shit.
kidding. I'm kidding, Ray. I'm kidding. We should give this man a link sometime, though. He loves to participate.
He does. He's the shit.
But I started to put together like a plan of action on how to cut costs while also getting to the backlog of veterans that we have waiting for retreats. And that's when I was like, hey, I don't mind being the media coordinator. If that's what Refit needs, whatever Refit needs, I'll do it. Right. That's kind of where everybody who's volunteering should start up anyway. But I was like, hey, let me do some of the operations, like backside of the house stuff. Let me look at like a Refit 2027 plan, a Refit 2030 plan. Let's look at growth. Let's see who we can start to have like accountable for no money. Like I understand like completely that I'm still receiving a salary and other people don't have the time to put into Refit. That's totally fine. But if you have stake in Refit growing and you want a job at Refit, we're not in a position right now where like hiring is something we're doing. We're at a position right now where like you create your own stake in Refit and make it your mission to get yourself a job by making sure Refit gets to as many people as possible. And so I started to put together a plan of action for it, started talking to James about it. Hopefully I can talk to Dan a little bit more about it. And I found myself putting together giveaways with Zero Foxtrot, setting up podcasts with Endless Endeavor, and every step of the way, James is like, man, this is great. This is awesome. We're doing it. And I have to be the negative Nancy to James and be like, no, we're not doing it. Like we're starting, it's going somewhere, but we haven't done anything yet. Those 300 people are still waiting for retreats. We're still trying to gain the revenue to do partnerships with bigger veteran owned organizations, and collaborations with people that will set Refit on a national platform. So we haven't done it yet. I'm going to do it. I might do it. I probably will do it.
I must do it.
So we're going to come.
And we're gonna help you out.
Yeah. So Refit's on its way.
That's another way of saying we show up.
Yeah, we're gonna come.
We're coming.
We're gonna come.
Yeah.
Don't come.
And
Don't come.
so yeah, if you don't buy into what Refit's doing and you don't support the way that we're going about mental health and peer support, do not come.
Yeah.
Do not come.
Until you have a conversation with us. Let's do it.
Yeah, so I have to close the comments. I'm really sorry, comment people. I'm so distracted.
That's okay. That'll be our job to look at it. You can close that out.
So yeah, so I'm gonna tip our hand a little bit and say that Refit is looking at moving towards a regional alignment, where we can support multiple retreats. Maybe not at once to begin with, but over time, we're looking at trying to get Refit to doing multiple retreats at once in multiple locations, and having that feed the fire team aspect. As the fire team grows, it will pay off back to the retreat side of the house by bringing in people who are in crisis through personal outreach rather than a social media outreach or an ad campaign or anything like that. And so just kind of, I'm trying to do the growth plan of action while doing as much as I can in good faith with people, since Refit doesn't exactly have the revenue to put giant ad campaigns out yet.
That's right.
So that is what I'm doing for Refit. Personally, I'm a 13 Fox. I've been a 13 Fox since 2012. I tried to go to college, and college was like, thank you very much, but you may not enter back into this building the next semester. And so my dad was like, hey, you're either going to pay rent or get out. And so the Army allowed me to do both. Well, not pay rent, but also get out. And so I did that. I was in Fort Stewart, Georgia, was my first duty station. We were the only light brigade. I was in the light brigade. I want to make that clear. I was not in the tanks. And so I was there until about 2016. 2016, we went to Hawaii. And I was actually pumped because I was like, oh, they have strikers. I'm not going to have to walk anymore. Well, the fucking joke was on me because they got rid of those strikers in 2016. And so I had to walk for another 3 years there. And then I came to JBLM and did the striker thing for a little while, probably about 6 months before I realized I didn't appreciate the environment that I was in, and switched over to 5th Security Forces Assistance Brigade. And went to a couple different countries with them, supporting foreign militaries, training up for interoperability, and just kind of making them better. And about 3 years into SFAB is when I really started to investigate all the aches and pains that I had, which led me towards 5 different surgeries. And when the 6th surgery came up, my physical therapist and provider were both like, hey man, 6 surgeries for a 31-year-old is ridiculous no matter what job you have. So it might be time to go. So I had a long thought about that. And around that same time, my family life was had taken a huge hit from the lifestyle of being gone for 6 months, coming back for 12 months. And even while I was back for those 12 months, I was going to a school here, a school there. So I was really only home for about 6 of those 12 months. And my wife was like, we can't do this. So that made the decision easy. Okay, well, I have a medical retirement opportunity in front of me, and we're going to take it. So long path, but somehow I'm convinced that it led me to that retreat in Rainier, and getting together with Tanner and James, and finding a fire for Refit. And I just think it's all too many too many coincidences for me to go through a medical retirement when that's absolutely not what I wanted initially.
Right.
And end up on the sweepstakes retreat with the roaming vet, and link in with you and Tanner and say that I want to help, and find out that what Refit wants to do is something that I have quite a bit of practice with. In a sense of like, or reorganize, restructure, manage, and kind of, for lack of a better term, do a little troop to task. Try not to spread James too thin or stress out Dan and Tanner. But I think it's all too many coincidences for me to be like, yeah, I just fell into this really cool opportunity. I think that it's odd that I found what I thought I was supposed to be doing in 2012. And then here we are over a decade later, and I am 100% on the burn the ships mentality with Refit. I
Fuck
will
yeah.
have a salary with Project Refit.
Yes, you will.
I'm not looking for another job right now. I will be out of the Army before the end of the summer, and we're gonna make it work somehow, some way, because the chief operations officer of Project Refit will be my next job. So
Absolutely.
yeah,
Quick shout out to Mama Corbett. What's up, Mom?
Dang.
Hell yeah, dude. I
Speak it to fucking existence.
That's right, dude. And he and I both are on that same page, and we actually discussed that even on the Greg Anderson podcast. We're like, look, we will be using monthly donations to hire people to execute this mission. That is something that we're not going to be an all volunteer organization. Of course we want volunteers, of course we want that help, but we are very serious. We take this as a war. It's a real war.
Yeah.
People are really dying. And there needs to be a new narrative, one that needs to be spread of we as a community can support each other and help each other. And if you need additional support and additional resources and tools in your tool belt, go to the therapist, go talk to the therapist, get those tools and come back to your group and teach other people what you learned practice what you learned, right? Put it into practice, because that's how you're going to get better and move your life forward. So that is keeping yourself accountable, being incredibly accountable to, the every action, everything in your life that is happening is you. Almost everything is a result of your decisions at some point that led to that. That almost always.
it's really crazy that I mean, this conversation keeps popping up. And yesterday I have a 10-year-old and a 6-year-old daughter or daughters. And
Both are wonderful.
yesterday they were playing across the street, and their mom and I love Sydney. You know Sydney.
Yep.
Their mom
Sydney's
and I
wife.
love to give them little responsibilities and be like, okay, now it's up to you. So Sydney said, I'm going to give you guys 15 minutes. I'm going to go start making dinner. If you're not home in 15 minutes, I'm going to take that as you don't know how to manage your time. Right? They didn't make it in 15 minutes. And they came through the door, and we told them, like, okay, you're just not going to go out to play tomorrow. And my 10-year-old goes, but it's not my fault. Mm-hmm. And I was just like, immediately, I was like, stop. Nope. Mm-mm. Hold up. Something ain't right.
That's right. That's right.
So I had the conversation with her of nothing. You can be in a frame of mind where nothing is ever your fault. Like, I got that ticket because that cop was a dick. Or, I didn't get that job because the other guy's friends with somebody that works in that company already. It's not my fault. And then if that's your frame of mind, you're never going to hold yourself accountable. And two, you're never going to be successful. If not getting that job and you're going to say, oh, I didn't get it because somebody's friends with somebody in that company. Well, if that stops you from going to get that job, you probably weren't the employee they were looking for anyway. If you got a ticket because that cop was a dick, I would imagine there's going to be a lot more people on your side than there actually are. And so just having that, even with a 10-year-old, having that conversation, it's almost the same as having that conversation with a 30-year-old who's like, man, I just got out of the military and it's so hard to get a job. It's so hard to, and I understand that. I'm sure it is. And the difference between that 10-year-old and that 30-year-old is that 30-year-old needs to be able to say, yeah, it is hard. And I'm still going to do it. And I can't let any of these other things that I could make myself believe dictate what I want to do. And that's kind of what led me to Refit. Was I've done so much shit that I did not want to do. Like, I did not want to go to Thailand for a month in August. Like, no, I didn't. I did want to go to Australia for a month. That was something I did want to do, and I did. But there's sleeping in ice cold water in Georgia in January and getting leptospirosis in jungle school in Hawaii. Just so many situations where I was like, man, this sucks. This is terrible. And I finally saw something I wanted to do with Refit, and I was like, fuck it. I have spent too much time doing stuff that I don't want to do to go get a job, to pay the bills, and have a safety net instead of doing something that I really want to do. And I urge anybody who's been in the military or law enforcement or first responder, you have probably done a lot of shit that you did not want to do for other people or for the safety of your family. Have that discussion with the people that are impacted and go do what the fuck you want to do. I think Greg Anderson is a huge example in realizing that he was like, man, I don't want to work for a bunch of people who are going to make me like take my opinion down after I put it up. I don't want to work for a bunch of people who are going to hinder my First Amendment rights. So fuck them. I'm going to go work for myself.
Yeah, man.
And he said on a podcast with Andy Frisella, like, I'm at a point in my life where if I want to buy a plane ticket to go somewhere, I don't have to worry about it. I'll buy that plane ticket. And that, I honestly believe that's because he burnt the ships, and he sadly, he got to a point where he was burnt by the organization. And that gave him the kick in the ass to go be on his own. But I think a lot of people need that. And you need to stop telling yourself that it's safer this way. You need to stop telling yourself that this is the smarter thing to do, and really believe in your own ability to create what you want.
Amen.
And
That's real.
So that's why I'm here.
Amen, dude. And honestly, what you've done so far, literally, dude, like he has a whole, you said that, and I actually appreciate, I want to say it before I say my next statement, I really appreciate your mindset of, no, we haven't done anything yet. This is what he's done. He's already developed, and like he's in the process of developing a full operations plan in future where we're talking about 2030. Like how we're going to be able to get here. He's already mapped out the entire United States for different regions of how we're going to have those growth plans and execution actually do the fire teams. That's something I have been screaming to the wind about. Like I need help on how to actually make this work. Like the operation side, I need that help. Like you want to talk about vision, you want to talk about the where we're going, why it needs to happen, the ethos, the very important ethos and vision of this company, of this organization. I'm in. Like that's the CEO's position, what they're supposed to do, right?
Yeah.
And I need to get people in here who are better than me in certain areas, and he's already fucking crushing that side. Like he said to me, he's like, dude, I want to pay my way into this. Like I want to raise the money to pay my salary and make sure that we can take this to the next level. So I can be secure, my family can be secure, but I'm willing to do that. And the burn the ships mentality, I want to tell people real quick what the burn the ships mentality actually comes from. So it was I think I've mentioned it before in this podcast before, but it's very important to understand. So burn the ships comes from, I think it was a Greek general during was it the Trojan War, Tucker? Do you know?
I know he burnt the ships so that they didn't have an opportunity to retreat.
Right. So the concept is, and it was during a war, he literally he stood in front of all of his men, lined them all up on the beach in front of his men. He said, listen, you're going to go burn those ships. And they're like, what the fuck? He ordered them to do it. They burnt all the ships. They all came back in line. He's like, all right, we're either going to die here or we're going to go win that fucking war and build ships to go home. Right. And then we're going to tell them that we won. And that absolutely fucking motivated them to win, because it's you are going to live or you are going to die here. And the reason why, when Tucker brought up the burn the ships mentality, back in 2019, I read this book. I forget the name of the book, but it was like back in like 2017 time frame, 2016 time frame, right around when I dropped out of Columbia and was really developing everything. And I had to sit with myself and seriously understand whether I was going to do this or not. I'm a civilian. I knew that I did have a past where I wanted to go into the military and I just couldn't because of my injuries. And I knew that I had to make a decision of, if I'm on my deathbed, what am I going to regret? Am I going to regret not having some type of service that I gave back to this nation and give some type of service back to the people that I wanted to be alongside of in the fight, or not? Right? Because I genuinely believe and love in especially the First Amendment. And I was like, I need to do something. There's a problem. People are fucking dying, and I need to do something. I'm burning the ships. Back in 2019, I decided to go with that mentality. I'm genuinely burning the fucking ships. There's nothing else for me to do. I'm doing this, and nobody can talk me out of it. And I did it. And haphazardly, but I did it. And when Tucker said that to me, I was like, this motherfucker, he gets it. Like,
This motherfucker Tucker.
yeah, this motherfucker Tucker. That's right, dude. Replace that T with an F. Add one more little line in there, you little fucker.
Very original. Never heard that one before in my life. That was great.
Yeah, really.
It's like Rocco's
really
Modern
funny.
Life for me.
Yeah, you've never heard
Sure,
that.
you get it all the
James the
time.
Giant Peach. I used to get that when I was growing up. James and the Giant Peach all the time. But yeah, man, like when you said that, I was like, dude, you get it. You are right there. You in line with it, because it's genuinely a war. There's genuinely people dying. There is a psychological weakening that is happening to so many people, and we need to literally reframe the entire narrative. And that is what we are doing here. And that is why we also rub people the wrong way at times, especially in the professional space. But we do find the professionals are the black sheep that totally fuck with everything that we're doing and love it.
Here's another thing that I put into the 2027 plan of action is a lot of nonprofits are trying to get huge by working with Under Armour, Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, and all of these massive billion-dollar corporations. And I think we had a discussion once that was like, hey, nonprofits hoard all of their assets and they don't want to share because they think there's like this finite number of people that are willing to help and they want to have theirs. And I've put into the plan of action, and we'll discuss it later on before it goes into set in stone, that when we align regionally, our partnerships are also regional. So we don't have to have a massive national sponsorship. We'll let them come to us in due time, but we don't have to have that. If we can create a regional collaboration or a regional partnership with each region, so each region has a ranch, each region has an outfitter, each region has an apparel provider, then not only is Refit making all of these different connections in all these different places, we also are continuing to grow with the economy in those regions on a national platform. So yeah, and that also leads to a little bit off of your shoulders in the sense of like people that are managing these regions have the decision power on who they work with in their region. They don't have to go all the way up to national to see if it's okay if we work with the Foxhole surplus store in Lakewood, Washington. That's on you. If you think they're a good fit and you think that they align with Refit and that's going to be a good business decision, you send us an email about what you think. If you justify it, it's on you. And that keeps us small, that keeps our costs down, and that keeps us streamlined so we don't have to deal with the bureaucracy that James so much hates. And yeah, another way that we kind of want to change the game is that. And a narrative that I really want to get across in all of this is I came to the analogy that people are like Twix bars, right? And sorry about my snorting. It's cold here. People are like Twix bars. When we were growing up, what did the Twix bar wrapper look like, right? It just said Twix. And now what does it look like? Apparently there's a left Twix factory and a right Twix factory. And they say, which one's your favorite? right Twix or left Twix. Well, they're both still fucking Twix.
Yeah,
and
man.
we're all still fucking people. Just because you try to separate us by right and left, by right and wrong, by high and low, I think at our core, we are all still the same Twix that was in the basic wrapper in the early 2000s. And we need to stop looking at some of the situations and problems that people have as super complex problems.
And super unique, because in reality, so many of us are going through the same things.
It's
Great analogy.
if it's statistically impossible that I'm the only person on earth with this face, it's very statistically impossible that your situation is unique to you.
That's right.
It's almost more likely that on any retreat, those 10 people, the 10 problems that you have in your life, the other 9 people there have had 9 or more of the same problems you have right now.
That's right.
We've heard it before.
Yes, we have.
Almost every single fire chat revolves around, I'm dealing with this issue. Oh, that reminds me of an issue I dealt with, and this is how I dealt with it. Oh, yeah, me too. I went through the same thing. And we're all Twix bars.
Yeah, man.
At what age did we get to a point where mentoring and tutoring was not something that we sought out anymore? What happened to people when they were like, this situation sucks and I just can't talk to anyone about it? Like,
that is, there's actually, I'm standing now. That is something, the mentorship thing is so critical to a society working. And it's actually the question is, when another question is to ask is, when was the time, for men in particular, I'm going to speak to, when did you like stop listening to your dad, right? And like stop really taking on all the average age of that happening is where, and when I think about it, I was like, damn, that actually lines up with me. And I started asking a bunch of other guys, how about you? Like, when was it time, like 12, 13,
When I stopped,
like really listening and taking advice?
much earlier than that.
Earlier?
Yeah.
That's fair. How about you, Tucker?
my dad's 6'3", 280 pounds. I listen to him to this day.
Well, all right.
My problem was more along the lines of taking what my dad said as gospel.
Right. That's what I'm talking about.
and
It's not
He's not talking about obeying.
right, right.
And not seeing that he is also a flawed human.
Oh my God, Ray.
I looked at. That's a good time to probably stop.
He said, for those who will listen in the future, Ray just said when he died. Unreal.
So yeah, I had an issue with thinking of every situation that popped up in my life as what would my dad do?
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't until I was 30 years old that I got to a point where I looked back and I was like, oh, my dad's a flawed human. Like, he also had no fucking clue what he was doing raising
Right.
people.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, when I stopped listening to my dad, like I told him, I'm not going to do that. I was probably in my 20s. It was probably late for me. Like,
Okay.
he also wasn't the type of dad to reach out and be like, hey, you need to go get an oil change now.
Right.
Or anything like that. But,
The average age is about 12, 13 years old for men in particular, right? Like that's like the time where you're like, wait a second, I want to figure it. I want to do this really on my own. That's the average age, 12, 13, 14. So that's right around the same time for me too. Like when I stopped listening. And by the way, I have a great relationship with my dad. I love my dad. He's a great guy. So it's not about the relationship, whether you have a good relationship with them or not. It's just, when did you like turn off and you really wanted to figure shit out on your own? That's usually the average age for that to happen. The reason why I bring that up is like, that's when you start listening to other people around you. Why community is so important and mentorship is so important. And it's really difficult right now in our modern society. For some reason, male mentorship in particular is, plummeted to almost nothing. There's like nothing. And it's a tragedy, especially for, being that we are all our own, kings inside of this society. We have to, kings and queens, in this society. We run our lives. That's what we're supposed to like, that's what we're supposed to aspire to. And it takes mentorship to get there, right? And good people that you surround yourself with and listen to. So, but it's really difficult because like now it's like if a guy takes an interest in mentoring a young man, it's like, well, why? Like, is he attracted to him or something? Because of that whole mentality. And it's really difficult. And it does scare guys away from that. So, that is something I think is really important is mentorship big time. That's why it's such a critical thing. And that's something that maybe fire teams could do is like go to a local high school and mentor kids or speak to the high schoolers and, let them know about their journeys. And that could be a great fire team concept. One that I would definitely welcome. I know there's other organizations that do stuff kind of like that, but just a thought. It's just a thought that we could possibly pitch to people. But
I think that's also a huge benefit that I got in combat arms. I don't know. I'm sure other branches are like this. I know the Marine Corps definitely is. That I got through the Army was my first platoon sergeant was like my dad. And this doesn't happen, but he literally at later on in my career, people would be like, "Hey, you know so and so," and I'd be like, "Oh yeah, he was my platoon sergeant." He was like, "Oh, he says you're like his Army son."
oh, that's cool.
But like that
That's deep.
mentorship is facilitated in the military
Yeah.
because you have to listen to this person. This person has to have your best interest. So I think that that's something that once you get out, you no longer have this person that you can turn to and say, "Hey, I have this problem." And that is what refit is about creating. And it's not about creating like, "Hey, we know how to do life. Come sit with refit."
That's right.
It's like,
Let's
"Hey,
figure it out together.
we're acknowledging that nobody has any idea what they're actually fucking doing here or how they
Yes.
got here or what happens when they leave here, but um we can all solve these things together even though we're not in a uniform, we don't have a contract. We may not even be located near each other, but we can still figure all this out."
That's right. We can figure it out step by step together. 100%. And
Yep.
that's the importance of that's how you combat isolation, right? Like effectively. And, I definitely, I see like immense value in obviously creating that community. What's up, Tanner?
Montana, Montana.
But I also see the huge challenge of motivating guys, mean men and women, people out of their homes to come and spend time with us at the fireside chats and such, right? Oh,
There's a good boy.
that is a good boy.
She's sleepy.
Oh, it's a good girl.
She spent all morning jumping up in my face and being a little devil. So
Cohen is sleeping right here next to us too.
now she's being a nice, sweet little demon.
Oh, that's cute. But yeah, that's something that like I know is going to be a challenge. And that's actually, that's why, Tucker, you and I talked about this. If we could get social media influencers in that area to, become like leaders that can try to promote going out to the fire, meet them, hang out, do community service with them or whatever it might be. That would be so incredible. That's also part of the hybrid strategy that we've developed even in the beginning, right? That's something we really want to do and execute on. It's just having the people that will spend time on our social media to send messages to them and talk to them, which is something you need help with. I really want to fill that gap. I've tried to get multiple people to do that before. Like, hey, can you just go on to social media and send messages? Please just send messages. That's all I need you to do. And, can you give me a template? Can you give me this? Can you give me that? It's like, yes, but just send it. Like however you want to state it, you send it. Like you just do that. And that's fallen off multiple times where just, I guess people are just, I don't know. I guess it's like this, I don't want to fail kind of mentality. And it's like, dude, there's no failure. It's just reach out. There's a fear around that. And you've been just blasting people, dude. Just like, hey, this is me. I'm Tucker. We're refit and all that stuff.
Yeah, I really don't care. Say no if you want.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Ray, if you're serious and you want to do that, bro, I would definitely welcome you into helping out because Tucker needs help with that big time. Reaching out to podcasts through the Refit Instagram, I will definitely give you access to allow you to do that. That would be so helpful. because are trying. If we get on more podcasts and we get to talk about our story, especially bigger ones like with huge audiences, dude, like that will help us tremendously to spread this really good message that we have, as well as to get monthly donors, because that will help us scale, help us launch new fire teams. Another thing that we're doing is we're actually looking to partner with military bases and people on military bases. We have a huge opportunity. I'm not going to say it here live, sadly, but we have a huge opportunity coming up with a military base that I absolutely hope we can push through and make happen. Because, man, if the thing that we are about to do happens, it is going to change so much for us in terms of funding as well as outreach. So it's I'm very excited about it. So send good vibes or pray for us or whatever you want to do to help us make that happen. But the message and the mission of Refit is very much scaling, and we just need to scale with it. And that's where, honestly, again, bringing it right back, Tucker, you said you didn't do anything yet, but man, I'll tell you what, just planning it is huge. So I'm beyond excited for the future of Refit with you at the helm of operations, man.
Yeah, I'm pretty stoked to be here. I think it's a crazy opportunity that I get to be in this position that I am. I'm also talking with a couple of veterans here because I don't want to leave Washington without a refit footprint, a working refit footprint here. About one of them has a specialty, I guess you would call it. It's a hobby, but he's very good at it, growing social media platforms. Another one has his real estate license and is working in the process of becoming a firefighter and EMT. And I'm fairly certain that's not where he wants his life to go and stay. It's just a chapter that he's beginning. And I think that both of them, once we get them on a retreat and they see what we're about and they see how Project Refit works, it will light a fire. And I think that is the biggest thing that we have going for us is everybody that we talk to. The Bloomerang meeting we set up the other day to manage donors.
Yeah.
I talked to that dude for 30 minutes and he could not stop saying how much he loved our approach and what we're doing. I haven't talked to a single person. The CEO for Fund the First called me right after we set up that fundraiser. And
he's a good dude too.
He was like, I love what you're doing. I absolutely love it. We need to get on a podcast sometime. I'll come out there. I was like, I just so happens I just got all this equipment and we can do that.
Yeah.
But, it also is a little frustrating that everybody absolutely loves what we're doing. And we say, that's great. We need help because we're struggling and we continue to struggle. But I'll be damned if Project Refit isn't about to take the spot of Wounded Warrior Project or share the top spot with Wounded Warrior Project, because I'm fixated. I'm absolutely fixated. And any spare minute I get, I'm in here. We have a message on Instagram right now. Broken Anchor Barbershop.
Oh yeah, love them. They're Audubon. Love those guys. I just promoted that they're looking to hire somebody, hire someone at their shop, and I was like, absolutely. They're literally right down the street from our mobile base.
Also, crazy cool fucking ad for hiring people,
dude. He and his wife, dude. Like both of them are vets. Great people, bro. Yeah, Joe Shaw. That's right, Ray. Joe Shaw, baby. Joe and his wife Rebecca, they're both veterans. I sat down with Rebecca a couple of years ago to help her through the business plan and like developing a business plan and putting the money together and stuff to get the loan to then launch their barbershop. And dude, it was so cool to see them and how much they're doing. They're great people, man. I mean, fucking great people. I respect Joe a lot. And Ray knows him. Yeah, Ray, that's my brother. Yeah, dude, he is the shit. So yeah, I'm so proud of them, man. And I just want to support them every step of the way. So I was going to say something and I lost my train of thought actually, which sucks, but I really just, for the future of Refit and where we're going, the message that we're spreading, I'm personally just fixated on us, right? And like just us being the best that we can absolutely be. I am happy that you developed a person to, go after. Oh wait, here we go. He grew up with him and he had an epic emo stage. I think he's still in his emo stage for
It's not a stage,
right.
Dad.
Yeah. Matt McCusk or Matt something. I forget the Cutshaw or I forget. Cutsall, maybe the singer from wherever the fuck he does all the emo stuff now. He's fucking amazing.
Oh, I know who you're talking
Yeah.
about.
That's who said like it's not a stage, Dad, and he has like the hair and shit.
Hey, there are 30-year-olds walking around with thumb holes cutting their sweaters. Okay, don't disrespect it.
That's right. But we're really excited about where we're going. And again, like I was saying, like I'm super fixated on refit success and what we're doing and the conversations that we're opening up and allowing the community to support each other again, and creating an environment where that can happen. And also, and you mentioned like Wounded Warrior. I just want to give a shout to them. Like they are doing much better. They actually had a change in their leadership. They have a general that came in that's absolutely bringing Wounded Warrior to the original mission of what they were trying to get out there and make a big difference. So Wounded Warrior is doing a great job on that. I do want to give them a lot of props in the beginning stages, and they hit that weird stage where they were just about money and weird things were happening. Well, they've really restructured themselves and they're taking back a lot of their reputation, which is great. And I am very happy to know that because they are such a huge, nonprofit in this space, in the veteran space. And if they do well, we're going to do well. That's just how it works. It's just like with coffee shops. If Starbucks does well, other coffee shops do well. That's actually real. That's how the economy works. So just, I personally love that we get to spread a message of resilience and strength and taking your pain and your suffering from a place of being a victim into a place of becoming a victor, right? Like that is just everything. And it's difficult to see that in the moment that shit sucks. But when you are able to take full accountability for your life, it will change everything. You will absolutely be able to move forward in a more strong, positive way faster. You'll be able to get through those negative storms faster once you begin to practice that shit. It's really, really important. So I am excited for you to be here, bro. I
This
really
shit
am.
got me hyped the fuck up, honestly.
Yeah,
I know.
yeah.
Babe, I don't know
also-
if you're still listening or not, but grow that business, baby, so I can quit my job.
I'm
Yeah,
listening.
dude.
I am. I'm listening.
Yeah.
But we are, it's all about that outreach, right? It's all about making like 1 or 2 phone calls a week. Like you could make 1 or 2 we could give you a list to call like a random wealthy person, because we have those numbers now and emails, and just call someone like, hey, my name's Rocco. I'm with Refit. I know this is random, but I just wanted to talk to you about like the potential opportunity of supporting us and learning about us. Would you be open to that? That kind of stuff, dude. Like it's there. The opportunity is there. It's just stepping into the fight with us to do it even deeper. And you're already doing
Yeah,
it through
you
this, but yeah, I mean, it's fantastic, man. I am, God, I'm so excited. I was hitting a point where I was getting pretty like bummed out because I was like, damn, like I need help and, in a big way, especially with the operations side. That's everything. I was trying to learn it and trying to teach it, but I just didn't have the time. I wanted to get out there also and do more for other veterans and continue to grow our numbers. So it was a lot. And I really, me personally, when you are in a position that I was in, the thanks that I'm giving you and the praise that I'm giving you, it sometimes might seem like over the top. And I totally know that, but man, it is like, I was talking to a couple of entrepreneurs actually just the other day. I was at an event. I was able to meet this one guy who I am hopefully going to be getting in front of and maybe on his podcast. His name is Sam DeMeo. He's actually an Army veteran, and he is building an absolute monster of a business. And he was discussing how in the beginning he really built the business around himself because there's no other option. And he had to begin to delegate because he built it around himself. When he said he built it around himself, he didn't mean that from like a shitty, selfish perspective. Because there was no other option. That is exactly what has happened here. And he said, like, everybody was calling me. Everything was coming to me. Every fucking thing, right? Somebody's shoelaces were untied and they had to call me up to learn how to tie their shoes. He's like, I was like, what the fuck? And that's what he said. And I so resonated with that because I'm like, I am getting calls and texts and messages all the time about how to do stuff. And I'm over here trying to move other things forward and have meetings and talk to people. And it's all coming through me. And it was hurting and harming the help that we could provide to other people. And it was really bumming me out because I wasn't able to provide this service that I really wanted, as good of a service as it could be. And it's a huge learning experience and change. So to bring it back, like Tucker, you jumping in here and just developing an operations plan that you are now, that took off a massive load off of our back,
That's what
off
she
of
said.
my back. And you wiped it off, and you made sure you took care of me and gave me the things to clean myself. And that was wonderful.
Jesus, you make it too easy.
I know. I just said all that because of what you said.
It was very erotic, and I'm happy to do it.
Hey,
Hey,
but for real, man.
I want to give a shout out to our Zero Foxtrot Project Refit giveaway winners.
Please do it. Yeah.
Johan Runberg of Fort Worth, Texas, and Ronan J. Actually, Jason Valentine of Lake Worth, Florida.
That's
Florida.
awesome.
And both of them seem super pumped about the leadership retreat. And
I can't wait to schedule that.
Yeah.
You have to
can't
be
wait
there.
to schedule that.
It's a refit leadership retreat where we're gonna have all the guys that have been refit retreat leaders at one point for a weekend, and we're all going to discuss the SOPs, the left and rights, the process of how to actually host these conversations, and all of it. So we're gonna have a mind bending and mind growing session together so we can be better leaders during those retreats and understand structures better and everything. So
I'll be there.
yeah, man. So it's I'm very excited about it.
And we have to jump the other two guys in.
And that's right. Those other guys are going to come out with us and we're going to be able to learn about it.
Yeah,
So we're flying them out.
So we have to jump them in.
We have to jump
them
them in.
Is
Yeah.
that the new
Yeah.
thing? So are
Yeah.
we jumping you in, or
He's going to be out at the Montana retreat, actually.
Yeah, so I'll already been to a retreat, so
Yeah.
maybe not jump me in on that
so
one.
like a later jumping?
Uh,
I haven't been able to jump anybody in yet. How long have we been doing this podcast for? Has it been a year yet?
Almost. I'd say close to a year.
just stay away.
We had it before and then we stopped for a little while because it was just time. But now
can-
we've been super consistent with it for a long time.
You can jump me in. Just I have surgically improved ankles, so stay away from this.
wait, hold on, because we were doing this before Montana.
No, we weren't.
We weren't?
Mm-mm. You came back with this like fire and you were like, yo, we got to do this. And you hit me up and I was like, then you got to show up. Let's do it. And you're like, yeah, I'm in. So, and it has become I look forward
it still
to
doesn't
Thursday.
feel that long.
I know.
Holy shit.
Yeah. I look forward to these
I love
Thursdays all the time.
Thursdays, yeah.
Yeah.
It
Also-
fucks me up when I can't make it.
Yeah. And
also-
Ray, we actually do play skirmish. We do play at skirmish for some of our weekend retreats. We actually do that. And it's a lot of fun. It's pretty cool. We do have to be more mindful though of individuals who might not be able to participate in that. And we have to be more open about it because there's some individuals. We actually brought out a PJ, which was holy shit. I mean, that's like spec ops of spec ops. They are the spec ops guardian angels. So those guys are fucking hardcore. He actually came out on a retreat and he went and did paintball, but it actually brought up combat memories that were pretty hardcore for him. It was actually one of the first times that I heard someone who experienced combat actually struggle with some of the things from combat, but it's a little bit different, I think, for a PJ because that probably brought up a memory of someone that he lost. And I don't know, I'm taking a guess. And that's really hard. That's actually really hard because PJs are literally the doctors on the battlefield. They're very highly trained medical professionals as well as extremely good as a Navy SEAL, as a MARSOC, or recon Marine or infantryman, like Ranger, Green Beret at shooting. They are unfucking believable on both ends. So that's why they're the guardian angels of the Spec Ops community.
Well, why don't you marry him?
Yeah. He was a cool guy. That's something I learned from it.
It
Yeah.
sounds like you touch his pee every once in a while.
Sadly, I wasn't able to meet him. He went
Oh.
out there to Colorado with Wade and TJ and Mo and those guys. And I felt bad when I heard that was that, but it was good too. It did open up some things that he needed to talk about. And he did bring that to therapy and his peer groups and stuff like that. So that is a good thing. It is a good outcome. I was told that by some of the individuals that work with him. They're like, no, don't. Cause I was like, fuck, did we fail that guy? And it was, no, you didn't fail him. You didn't fail him at all. Like he's not talking about that stuff, which is good. But that is something we're going to add in to be like, hey, any of these, experience is going to mess with you. And if they do, please openly speak to us about it. Don't hold it in. Like, just let us know, like, yo, I got to sit out paintball. And quite honestly, I bet you everybody else would sit out with that person. And that's something that we can't necessarily express because they might not say it at that point. Like, I don't want to ruin the time for everybody else. Like, you're not. Like, we're here for you. This is why we're here, bro.
It's literally happened.
That is it. That is, what's that?
It's literally happened on Project.
Yeah, it has. It has. Absolutely, it has. Where we've literally stopped doing shit and we just focus on that guy, and that's what it's about. That's why it's awesome. Honestly,
You know what's just as fun as paintball?
Hmm.
Eating tacos and drinking Mexican Coke with the boys.
That is fun.
So if we can't paintball because somebody can't, let's hope they know the best Mexican food place around.
Street tacos.
That's right. Or maybe we can eat some bison meat or something like that. But it was so good, right?
I haven't had meat like that,
dude. It was so good. You pause
in almost a year.
You
pause.
did. Now you've got one.
That was rough. Dang, dude. Claire, I didn't know that about Rocco, dude. Ray said we could switch it to dodgeball.
If you can dodge a paintball, you can dodge a ball.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. But yeah, I'm definitely, we should add that in though. Like those kind of questions. There's actually a couple questions that we're going to add to the retreat surveys and stuff about, hey, would you want to become a retreat or a fire team leader in your local community and help continue to spread the message? That's something else we're going to be adding in. So we can continue this growth and empower people when they get home. That's actually something that we are also struggling with, is the follow-up piece and making sure that there's people staying in touch with each other and, keeping that contact, which is why I really like the idea of doing regional retreats that you came up with, Tucker, because it's like that solves that immediately. You're bringing guys from around each other on these retreats so they can actually stay in touch with each other. Claire said, I'm always learning new things about Rocco. You should see him on video games.
I'm coming in the back door.
Right. No. So my favorite thing, right, is, I'm relaxing and I'm having a couple drinks. I'm playing with like my friends and stuff. When there's like other people and they got their live mics on and you just want to trash talk and, dudes bust out the N-word and say all this other stuff. Not me. I just make you feel as uncomfortable as possible. And I act as gay as humanly possible towards these other dudes.
You have to there's a guy who puts audio into his mic and it sounds like a dude left his mic on in the lobby and the background is just completely not safe for work. And it is hilarious. And people are like, yo, hey, your mic's still on. Turn that off. We don't want to hear that. Turn it off. You got to look it up. It's hilarious.
That is funny. I've seen videos.
Right, I'm very questionable when
I've actually seen videos where guys leave their mics on and they'll have like a screaming match happening behind them or whatever. And like somebody's getting beat up or like whatever. And it's like, yo, what's going on? Where's this guy at? It's funny. But yeah, so I definitely, so Ray also brought up, does Refit have a Discord community? We do have a Discord. We don't use it ever because we've tried to get people to use it and stay on it and manage it. That's the big thing, is actually having a community manager, a group of community managers. That's a whole other thing. But trying to scale, we're really trying to focus in on scaling the fire teams and scaling the retreats and having the retreat leadership that takes people on retreats and the retreat leaders to be the people that check in on the guys that they brought out on those retreats and keep that going. We would love to have eventually a central communication platform.
What up, Bruno?
We have to get Bruno. 100 frames. He's doing his Christmas photos for veterans in the retirement home or the elderly care home, and he's taking photos for the families for Christmas. And we're going to give him. He has 96 photos he took of veterans. So we're going to send him 100 frames to support his mission that he's doing, which is fantastic. So Bruno, you're the man. We definitely have tried to do the Discord thing before, but I'm very focused on, and I think we in this organization are very focused on the growth of the fire teams and the improving of the retreats and creating connections with online influencers and such. We eventually will hopefully get someone to take over the Discord, potentially Discord chat. But we also need to get ourselves organized internally better for, putting up where events are happening on a map. We need a person to manage that, right? We, take in all that information and put it onto a calendar, that's another huge thing, and keep all the people who are actually part of Refit, volunteers and leadership, all in one platform to communicate better and get things out and request volunteers. There's so many things operationally that need to be improved before we can begin to worry about the wider, necessarily the wider community efforts. So we really want to perfect the internal moving parts first. But if you do have some ideas, Ray, that you want to either you execute, but I think I would like you to focus on, if you want to do the Instagram messaging, that's number one. That's what we're actually looking for. But we can talk about your ideas for the Discord community. That would be great. You can actually throw him to Tucker. I'll give you his email. I'll text you, and you can send him some ideas or set up a meeting with Tucker and talk to him about how to do it. That would be fantastic. I would definitely welcome that. So thank you. Today was a great podcast, great episode to introduce Tucker to the community, kind of the work that he's been doing so far. And, we're going to be on Zero Foxtrots podcast too, coming up beginning in January, Stay Zero. That is actually happening again because of Tucker. We're getting flown out there. They're paying for our flights and our lodging and all that stuff. So we're super excited about that opportunity to be on that podcast. And next week, Tanner and I are going down to Maryland to scope out a property we're going to be partnering with, where we could potentially even bring hunting into the mix of this organization, as well as the retreats. And yeah, so we're stoked, man. A lot of good things are happening. And like I said, keep us in your thoughts and prayers and good vibes or whatever you do to wish people luck and keep them in your mind, because we have something coming up with a military base that could be huge for us and huge for the military community overall. So yeah. And also Audubon, we have a fireside chat coming up in Audubon, February 22nd. There's an event on Facebook for it right now. And so look out for, flyers for that. And we hope to see as many people getting out there as possible. That'll be really cool to serve Audubon, who is, as a community, served us so incredibly well. So yeah, that's it, everyone. We really appreciate you. Tucker, you have any last thoughts?
I do not.
No worries.
I wish I could pull something from like The Art of War, but
I am Tucker.
I have a lot going. I have a lot of nothing going on in my brain right now. So
sounds good. How about you, Rocco? Anything?
No, I'm good. You're very inspirational and a very like who's just very monotone, like somebody who's like a monotone celebrity or character.
Oh, who's the dude that was in the Marine Corps and he was on Step Brothers?
Oh shit! I know exactly who you're talking about. I'm gonna pull his name up real quick.
Pow.
Yeah.
Oh, that dude.
How is he not one of the top ones? This guy, Rob Riggle.
Rob Riggle.
Oh shit! You look like Rob Riggle a little bit.
No.
Look at that nose, dude. They got a similar nose.
No, but you're just like you're very monotone, very non-excitable in the tone of your voice, but the things that you say are like fucking on a level I'm raising my hand above my head.
Look at the nose up there.
No, I don't see it.
Look at that. Look at that.
I don't see it. I don't see it. But
I like to think I can control myself a lot better than I used to. There's a video of a dude whose ex-girlfriend is like bashing in his new car. He lives like brand new car.
oh,
And
I've seen
he's
this.
like eating food, and he's like, "My insurance will pay for it. It's whatever." Like,
right.
I want to be that chill.
Yeah.
But your tone is that chill, but the things that you say definitely can get a spine tingling. So I'm excited to
You keep
hear
doing that.
more. And
You keep doing that. I'm starting to think it's on purpose now. I don't mean to make your spine tingle, but
oh,
James has my number if you need it.
listen, go on live. We need to carry this conversation on when my wife isn't in the comments.
But listen, guys, thank you
Go
all so
Birds!
much. I really do appreciate everyone, and we are excited for the future that's coming, and it's already happening. So let's go.
The future's now.
That's right, baby.
Fortune favors the bold. They're coming in waves now.
Yeah.
All of the amazing things of science.